The movie begins in England during World War II. German bombs are falling on London, and families are forced to send their children away from the city for safety. The Pevensies children are separated from their mother and placed on a train heading to the countryside. They arrive at a huge, mysterious mansion owned by an old professor named Professor Kirk. The house feels empty, quiet, and strange. To pass the time, the children begin exploring its long hallways, hidden rooms, and dusty furniture. Lucy, the youngest, is playful and curious. While playing hide and seek, she opens a wardrobe in an empty room. Discovery of the wardrobe. At first, Lucy feels coats inside the wardrobe. But as she walks deeper, something strange happens. Instead of touching the back wall, she steps into snow. Lucy finds herself in a magical forest under a glowing lamppost. It is cold, quiet, and beautiful. Suddenly, she meets a creature that is half man and half goat. His name is Mr. Tumnus, also called a faun. Mr. Tumnus is kind and nervous. He invites Lucy to his cave for tea and music. They laugh and talk, and Lucy learns she is in a land called Narnia. The truth about the White Witch. But something is wrong. Mr. Tumnus begins to cry. He reveals that Narnia is ruled by the White Witch, an evil queen who has cursed the land so that it is always winter and never Christmas. He admits that he was supposed to kidnap Lucy and turn her over to the witch. Lucy forgives him, and Mr. Tumnus decides to help her return safely. When Lucy walks back through the wardrobe, she suddenly returns to the normal world. Only seconds have passed. Lucy is not believed. Lucy excitedly tells her siblings about Narnia. But Peter, Susan, and Edmund do not believe her. They think she is pretending or imagining things. Edmund secretly enters the wardrobe himself. Edmund meets the White Witch. Edmund finds Narnia too, but his experience is very different. He meets the White Witch, who rides in a sleigh with wolves. She looks beautiful but dangerous. She gives Edmund enchanted Turkish delight, a magical candy that makes him crave more. The witch promises, "If you bring your brother and sisters to me, I will make you a prince." Edmund agrees, blinded by greed and jealousy. He returns to the real world and lies to his siblings, saying Lucy made everything up. All four enter Narnia. Later, during a game of hide and seek, all four children run into the wardrobe together. This time, they all enter Narnia. Lucy is proven right. They walk through the snowy forest and reach the lamppost. Soon, they discover Mr. Tumnus' cave, but it has been destroyed by the witch's soldiers. A message on the wall reads, "Traitor taken." Lucy realizes Mr. Tumnus has been arrested for helping her. This is when the children learn that their arrival has put others in danger. Meeting the Beavers. They meet Mr. and Mrs. Beaver, who secretly help them escape the witch's forces. The Beavers explain a powerful prophecy. When 2 sons of Adam and 2 daughters of Eve sit on the 4 thrones of Cair Paravel, the White Witch's reign will end. They also reveal the name of the true king of Narnia. Aslan, the Great Lion. Aslan is returning, and war is coming. Edmund secretly slips away to betray them and go to the White Witch. While Peter, Susan, Lucy, and the Beavers travel toward Aslan's camp, Edmund sneaks away in the night. He believes the White Witch will reward him with power and respect. However, his journey quickly turns dangerous. Edmund is captured by the witch's wolves and taken to her icy castle. Inside the castle, the witch reveals her true nature. She is cruel and merciless. She keeps statues of creatures she has turned to stone. Edmund realizes he has made a terrible mistake. Instead of treating him like a prince, the witch treats him like a prisoner. She slaps him, insults him, and locks him in chains. This shows how evil uses promises to trick people, then destroys them. The witch's army marches. The White Witch prepares for war. She gathers her army of wolves, giants, dark creatures, and stone monsters. Her plan is to kill Aslan and the children and keep her power forever. Meanwhile, Peter, Susan, Lucy, and the Beavers reach Aslan's camp. First appearance of Aslan. For the first time, we see Aslan, the Great Lion. He is huge, golden, and powerful, yet gentle and wise. When Lucy sees him, she feels both fear and peace at the same time. Susan and Peter feel the same. Aslan represents goodness, justice, and hope. Aslan welcomes the children and calls them by their true titles. Peter, High King. Susan, Queen of Gentleness. Lucy, Queen of Courage. Edmund, Still Missing. But Edmund is not there. Edmund is rescued. Aslan sends his warriors to rescue Edmund from the witch's castle. They succeed and bring Edmund safely back. Edmund is ashamed and broken. He apologizes to his siblings for betraying them. Peter forgives him. Aslan speaks privately with Edmund, and whatever he says changes Edmund forever. Edmund becomes loyal and brave from this moment on. The deep magic and the witch's claim. The White Witch arrives at Aslan's camp. She reminds Aslan of the deep magic. According to ancient law, every traitor belongs to her. Edmund betrayed his siblings, so his life belongs to the witch. She demands Edmund's blood. Aslan argues with her, but the law is powerful. Finally, Aslan makes a secret deal with the witch. He offers himself in Edmund's place. The witch agrees. Edmund is saved, but Aslan must die. Aslan's sacrifice. That night, Aslan walks alone to the stone table. Susan and Lucy secretly follow him. They see Aslan tied and humiliated by the witch's army. The witch kills him on the stone table. Susan and Lucy cry and feel all hope is lost. The witch celebrates, believing she has won. The dawn of hope. At sunrise, the stone table cracks. Aslan is alive again. He explains that there is a deeper magic. If an innocent life is sacrificed willingly for a traitor, death will reverse itself. Aslan defeats death through love and sacrifice. Preparing for battle. Aslan takes Susan and Lucy to free the statues in the witch's castle. With his breath, he brings them back to life. These creatures join Aslan's army. Meanwhile, Peter leads the Narnian army into battle against the witch. The final war between good and evil finally begins. Peter leads the Narnian army, which includes talking animals, centaurs, dwarfs, foxes, leopards, and other magical creatures. They march toward the battlefield with courage, even though many of them are afraid. Peter feels nervous because this is his first time leading an army. But he remembers Aslan's words and stands tall as a true leader. On the other side, the White Witch arrives with her terrifying army of wolves, giants, and dark creatures. She carries a stone knife and her magic wand, which can turn enemies into stone. The battlefield becomes a place of chaos, noise, and fear. Peter versus the wolf. During the fight, Peter comes face to face with Mogrim, the witch's strongest wolf. Mogrim attacks Susan and Lucy, and Peter jumps in to protect them. A fierce duel begins. Peter is injured, but he keeps fighting bravely. With one final strike, he defeats the wolf. This moment shows Peter's growth from an ordinary boy into a true king. Aslan appears and heals Peter's wounds. The witch's dark magic. The White Witch enters the battle herself. She turns Narnian soldiers into stone with her wand. Everywhere she goes, fear spreads. Her magic seems unstoppable. The Narnian army begins to lose hope. Aslan returns to the battlefield. Suddenly, Aslan arrives with Susan, Lucy, and the army he freed from the witch's castle. The statues that were once frozen now fight for freedom. Aslan's roar shakes the battlefield. Hope returns to the Narnian army. The tide of the battle changes. The final confrontation. The White Witch and Aslan face each other. This is the final moment of good versus evil. Aslan leaps toward the witch and attacks her. The witch is defeated. Her magic ends, and her army begins to collapse. With her death, the curse of endless winter breaks. Snow melts, flowers bloom, and the sun shines again over Narnia. Victory and celebration. The battle is over. The Narnian creatures cheer and celebrate their freedom. The long winter has ended. Aslan walks through the battlefield, honoring the brave warriors who fought. Peace finally returns to Narnia. The coronation at Cair Paravel. The children are taken to Cair Paravel, the great castle by the sea. There, a grand ceremony is held. Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy are crowned as the rulers of Narnia. Peter the Magnificent, Susan the Gentle, Edmund the Just, Lucy the Valiant. They become the kings and queens of Narnia, fulfilling the ancient prophecy. They rule with wisdom and kindness. Narnia enters a golden age of peace and happiness. Years pass in Narnia. Time passes differently in Narnia. The children grow up into adults. Peter becomes a strong and respected High King. Susan becomes wise and graceful. Edmund becomes fair and brave. Lucy remains pure and joyful. They spend many years ruling Narnia. They go on adventures and protect the land from danger. To them, Narnia becomes their true home. The Hunt and the Accident. One day, during a royal hunt, the kings and queens chase a white stag through the forest. The stag leads them towards something strange. They follow it deeper and deeper into the woods. And suddenly, they find themselves pushing through tree branches. They step out, return to the real world after years of ruling Narnia as kings and queens. The four siblings step out of the forest and back through the wardrobe. Suddenly, they are no longer adults. They are children again. Only seconds have passed in the real world. They are shocked and confused. They still remember everything. The battles, the crowns, their long reign, their adventures, and Aslan, but now they are back in the professor's house, wearing the same clothes they had when they first entered the wardrobe. Time in Narnia and time in the real world move very differently. This shows that Narnia exists beyond normal rules of time. Meeting Professor Kirk, the children run to Professor Kirk and tell him everything. Instead of laughing at them, the professor believes them. He explains that Narnia is a world that can be entered again, but only when it is needed. He says they will not find the wardrobe by trying to look for it. Narnia will call them back one day, when they are ready. This teaches that magical experiences cannot be forced. They come at the right time.